fourth one star delta. And we explained about star star connection also. In star star we got y 12 comma y 6. These are the two connections we got in a star star connection. Now let me go for second connection, nothing but delta. So here once again we will be having two chances, case 1 and case 2. These are the two possibilities we are having in a delta connection. Let me take 3 windings in primary side and 3 windings in secondary side. Similarly, in the second case also, let me take 3 windings in a primary and as I told you, primary vector represent capital letters. So let me indicate A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2, A2, A1, B2, B1, C2, C1. A1, A2 means it represents capital A, capital B, capital C, small a, small b, small c. And here also, in this case also, let me indicate primary vectors A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2, small a2, small a1, B2, B1, C2, C1. A1, A2 represents capital A, here capital B, capital C, small a, small b, small c. And I told you, you have to show suffix to terminals should be marked with the dots here, dot. Similarly, let me keep dots here, dots. It's a delta connection, right? It's a delta connection. I'll do one thing. First of all, we'll give connections like this. I'll give input to A2, B2, C2 and I'll give connections like this. Is actually dotted. These are undotted. Undotted to undotted to dotted I will go. Similarly, undotted to dotted I will go. From this undotted to dotted, undotted to dotted, undotted to dotted. I'll go like this. I'll give connection like this. You may think like this, sir, C1 means don't go from here to here because here A2, B2, C2 are terminals which are where you are giving input. Those terminals should be outside. Okay, that's why from C1 to A2 you should go, right? And here, yes, I'm just taking output also from A2, B2, C2. Undotted to dotted, undotted to dotted, undotted to. Is it clear? Now in case 2 what I'll do, I won't disturb this case 1 primary, whatever it is there, simply I'll case 2 also primary, I'll take same thing. I'll give input to A2, B2, C2, giving connections undotted to dotted, undotted to dotted, undotted to dotted. Instead of taking output in second case from A2, B2, C2, there I will take output from A1, B1, C1. A1, B1, C1. That means what? Now I'll go dotted to undotted, dotted to undotted, dotted to undotted, dotted to undotted. I'll go like this. Is it clear? Now these are the two cases we are having in a delta connection. We'll explain. Just listen carefully. So here it is primary is in delta. So actually this is delta connection. Okay. This is A2, B2 and C2. Observe guys clearly, A2 is nothing but what? A1. Observe clearly here whatever A2 is there, this is indirectly C1 only. So I can write A2 comma C1. B2 means indirectly what? A1. This is A1. C2 means indirectly B1. C2 means indirectly B1, right? Now tell me, if it is here A1, it is A2. So A1, A2 means which vector? Capital A. B1, B2, yes, B1, B1, B2, capital B. C1, C2, capital C. Now, let me draw secondary vector A1, A2 parallel to capital A1, capital A2. Capital A1 is downwards, capital A2 is upwards. So I can draw like this. This is what? Small a1, small a2, small a. Okay. Now, what about B1, B2, capital B1, capital B2. So I should write like this. This is capital B1, na? Small b1, small b2, B. Now C1, C2. So I'll draw like this, C1, C2. So C1, C2 means capital C. Now check whether this connection is correct or not. Whatever connection you made, this is correct or not. You just try to see the secondary winding connection. Here A2 is nothing but is to start with what? C1. Yes. B2 nothing but A1. Next. C2 nothing but B1. So that only I wrote here also. A2 nothing but C1. B2 nothing but A1. C2 nothing but B1. Yes, correct one. Now, after the secondary vectors drawn parallel to primary, now what we have to do? Very simple thing. If connections are in delta, we cannot compare line voltages, because connections, why we are drawing connections? For knowing the angle between secondary line voltage and the primary line voltage. Delta connection means phase voltage equals to line voltage. Then how can, if I want to tell angle between second line voltage and the primary line voltage, that delta has to be, the delta has to be drawn equivalent to star. So I mean star equivalent of delta should be drawn. So I just drawn star equivalent of delta like this. Similar here also just drawn star equivalent of delta. Star equivalent of delta. So now, so this ABC, whatever I just drawn in delta, that star equivalent to delta I just drawn here. Now you have to indicate which one is A, which one is B, which one is B, which one is C. See guys, for this please try to see clearly. Here connection terminals are A2, B2, C2. That means A2, B2, C2 has to be up here. Whereas capital A1, capital B1, capital C1 are non-connection terminals. So please try to strike off that, please try to cancel that. A1 should be strike off, B1 should be strike off, C1 should strike off. Now you can indicate ABC in the star equivalent. How? This is connected to A. So just indicate this A is the here. Now you might understand why I cancelled this one. If I did not cancel this A1, B1, C1, you may write here C1 is there, that's why you may write here C. If I won't cancel A1 here, you may write here instead of B, you may write A. Here instead of drawing a C, you may write B. Therefore, there are chances of getting wrong. Please try to strike off non-connection terminals. A1, B1, C1 should be strike off like this. So it is connected to A2, yes A. It is connected to B2, yes B. It is connected to C2, yes C. What's the phase sequence here? ABC is the phase sequence. Yes, very good. Now here also, what are the connection terminals? A2, B2, C2 are connection terminals from which you are taking output. Here A2, B2, C2, we are giving input. Therefore, this A2, B2, C2 can be called as connection terminals. Small a2, small b2, small c2 can be called as a non-connection terminals. Sorry, A2, B2, C2 can be called connection terminals. Small a2, small b2, small c2 can also be called as connection terminals. Whereas A1, B1, C1, small a1, small c1, small b1, small c1 can be called as non-connection terminals. So A2, B2, C2 should be there. A2 is there. B2 should be there. C2 should be there. Now A1 should not be there. B1 should not be there. C1 should not be there. Now tell me, it is connected to small a2. So it is here small a. It is connected to B, B here. It is connected to C, small c here. What is the phase sequence? ABC is the phase sequence. Now please. Then after this one is drawn, you have to compare secondary line voltage with the primary line voltage. Second line voltage is A to B2. A to B2, this vector is nothing but second line voltage. What about primary line voltage? A to B2. A to B2. A to B2. A to B2. Okay. Now just compare. This is nothing but capital A. This is what I can say capital B. This is what I can say A2. This is what I can say B2. Now here also similarly. Yes, small a, A2, small b, A2. So A2, A2, B2, sorry, A2, that's what I can say B2, no? A2, B2, A2, B2, A2, B2. So these are in phase, clearly it is visible. Therefore I can write simply secondary line voltage is in phase with primary line voltage. So this thing. Now I told you for knowing the time, what I said, please don't, you have to compare small a with the capital A only, not with small b with the capital B. Okay. So these two you have to compare, because I kept wherever in a clock 2 o'clock is there I kept A2 vector. So is A is reference for us. Okay. So in a clock, this is small a, I just kept here. Capital A represents minute needle, and the small a represents hour needle. This 2 o'clock. So I can say DD, capital D, primary delta, secondary also delta, small d, DD 12 o'clock, or I can say DD 0 o'clock is the answer for this question. Is it clear? Now tell me similarly answer to this very fast. So there is no change in secondary primary, second case primary and first case primary. So simply I'll just draw like this. This is what A2, is what B2, and this is what C2. A2 nothing but C1, yes. B2 nothing but A1, yes. Okay, C2 nothing but B1, yes. A1 is here, A2 is here, so this becomes A1, A. B1 is here, B2 is here, so B vector. C1, C2, C, C1, C2, C. Okay. Now, without seeing the secondary, don't see this secondary connection. Simply draw, and after that we'll decide which is correct or not. Okay. We'll draw simply. After that we'll decide which is correct or not. Okay. I'll draw simply like this. A1, A2 I'll draw parallel to capital A1, capital A2. A1, A2. A1, A2. Small a. B1, B2. Yes. B1 is here, B2 is here. And C1, C2 I'll draw. C1, C2 I'll draw. This is small c. This is B. But it is wrong. Why? Because here secondary, observe clearly I am saying, secondary I can say that it is a delta. Now it is also it is a delta only. But observe guys clearly. Here A2 is nothing but what? B1. B2 is nothing but what? C1. C2 is nothing but what? A1. But what you wrote here, A2 you wrote with C1, which is wrong. A2 should be with B1, not with C1. Is wrong. So right one you have to draw from this wrong one. I'll do one thing. I'll take one reference. This one. I'll take I'll take A1, A2 like this only. This small a. So A2 should be started with B1. So B1 is here, B2 is here. So B1 should go and connect with A2 like this. Orientation should have to change. Should be like this only. This is what I can say B1 and B2 small b. Small c1 should be started with the B2. This is B2. So C1, C2 should take like this, and you have to make C1 should be started with the B2. Okay. So this is what C1, C2, C1, C2. Okay, C1, C2, A1, A2, B1, B2. Okay, this is what C vector. Now what I said, you have to strike off which connection terminals? Non-connection terminals. In primary side of your case 2, A2, B2, C2 are connection terminals. So A2 should be there, B2 should be there, C2 should be there. But A1 should not be there, B1 should not be there, C1 should not be there. Similarly, in secondary side, A1, B1, C1 are the terminals from where you are taking output. That means here I can say A1, B1, C1 are connection terminals. What are the non-connection terminals? A2, B2, C2 should be strike off. A2, B2, C2. A1 should be there, B1 should be there, C1 should be there. Now please draw star equivalent of your delta. This is A2, so A. This is B2, therefore B. This is C2, therefore C. Now what about here? Star equivalent of delta. This is connected to A1, small a. Connected to B1, B. C1, C. Right. Now please here guys compare clearly. Second line voltage, if you take A1, B1, this is what A1, this is what B1. So let me draw. This is what I can say A1. This is what I can say B1. This is small a, this is small b. Now what about in primary? Take a line voltage A2, B2. This is what A2. And I can say this is what B2. That means if I take this green color and just superimpose here, your capital A will come here. Your capital A will come this side. Okay, this becomes A2. And what about this small capital B will come here. B2 becomes like this. Observe guys clearly. A2, B2 is nothing but primary line voltage. A1, B1 nothing but secondary line voltage. Tell me here if it is A2, I mean here A is here, small a is like this. B here, small b like this. So they are out of phase. They are out of phase. So simply I can write here secondary line voltage is out of phase with primary line voltage. And here one thing you have to understand. What is that? But for telling the time, okay, for telling the time with respect to clock, you should always compare small a with capital A. I told you, because in a clock, 12 is reference for us. In the primary side, A2 I take reference. A2 is at 12 o'clock place. Therefore, you have to compare small a with capital A, not with the small b with the capital B. So, in a clock, this is 12 o'clock. Okay, so I can say that if you take this and superimpose here, take the star and superimpose here, capital A is here. Small a is here. Small a is here. 6. Okay. Now what is the connection name? It's nothing but primary delta capital D, secondary delta small d, DD 6 o'clock. This is DD 12 o'clock, DD 6 o'clock. Okay. If you observe clearly, previously also we got in star YY 12 I got, YY 6 o'clock. YY 6 we got. Here DD 12 I got, DD 6 we got. Okay. First, observe clearly. Here I just drawn secondary. I drawn parallel to come in. I just drawn parallel to primary. Just drawn like this. This is wrong because you have to see this one. So from this I am just drawing correct. This is correct. This is wrong. Okay. And once again I am just saying, for making you to know that I am comparing line voltage in secondary with the line voltage of primary, that's why I am just drawing all those things. Otherwise, I don't want to make you confused. Simply I am just removing this. Simply compare small a with capital A. That gives you DD6. That's it answer. This is the angle between secondary line voltage and the primary line voltage. Okay. They are out of phase. Here they are in phase. Okay. Please note down.